Sunday statement time coming out of Week 11. Mike, you're up.
Well, I'm going to go with, man, it's good to have a quality backup, and that draft would be Colt McCoy. You know, backing up now 3 games in Arizona, winning a couple of those, goes 35 of 44, 328, 2 touchdowns in their win over Seattle. We were wondering, would Kyler Murray come back this game? But then they have a bye, so sit him another game. Then you get that bye week, and then he can come back after that. And again, a backup quarterback's job is to keep your team's head above water until your starter can get back. You know, and that's what's going on. You still see a team in Arizona with 2 losses, the top seed. So while Kyler Murray was out, they held on to the top seed in the NFC. So Colt McCoy getting the job done, and that's what you need out of your backup quarterback.
Yeah, look, they made that calculated decision. We'll give Kyler Murray 1 more week and the bye week now, so he should be 100% by the time they come back Week 13, and they get that win with Colt McCoy. So great statement from him and the Cardinals, who arguably are the best team right now in the NFL. First one for me, we already talked about him, but Jonathan Taylor, 5 touchdowns. Are you kidding me? 180-plus rushing yards. And real MVP chatter, I'm looking at the updated odds at PointsBook, Mike. He's down to 16-1. I think he was north of 20-1, maybe even as high as 40-1 not that long ago. You know, usually it's a quarterback of a team that gets a 1 seed, but the way Taylor's playing, if he keeps having games like yesterday, he'll muscle his way in to that conversation, and good for him if he does. He has played at a high level, and as we've said not that long ago, more proof that you don't need to use a top 10 pick on a running back. There are plenty of great guys out there in all rounds of the draft.
Boy, he really is doing a great job for them behind, again, an excellent O-line that lost its best player in Quentin Nelson, so we'll see where that one goes, but it doesn't take away from what Taylor has been doing. My second one is going to be, man, the dual threat. You know, Deebo Samuel and what he's doing. You know, we've seen that out of Cordell Patterson, the wide receiver who's getting running back carries as well, kind of multifaceted. Deebo doing the same thing now. He leads San Francisco in receptions with 55, but he's running the ball as well. He has 19 runs on the year, and he's going to get more than that. Had, 8 runs for 79 yards and a touchdown in their win yesterday. So I love the teams using the wide receiver, whether it's the jet motion coming deeper in the backfield, or just flat out lining them up in the backfield like a running back. You have it, and that's the name of the game. You have your players, you have your great players, get the ball in their hands any way possible. And kudos to the teams that are doing it, even if they have to hand it off to them like a running back.
And Kyle Shanahan, the master of drawing up those running plays from every potential guy, tight end, fullback, running back, receiver. He makes it work, and it helps to have a great player like Samuel to make it happen. Again, I'm going to go back to a guy we already discussed. Got to give props to Justin Jefferson. He is quietly laying the foundation for a great career. Now, we saw with Odell Beckham Jr., it can fall off after 3 or 4 seasons. It's about sustained, consistent, high-end performance. But so far, we're seeing it from Justin Jefferson. 11 100-yard receiving games so far in his career. He's got 7 left to try to catch Odell Beckham Jr. for 15. All he needs is 1 more to pass Randy Moss. And, you know, he doesn't have the big spectacular moments like Moss. We don't anticipate them, but hey, we saw the deep throw to him yesterday where he almost got into the end zone, scored 2 other touchdowns, 169 receiving yards. Jefferson getting it done for the Vikings, and that team will go as far as he can make that offense go, Mike.
Yeah, I completely agree. I love watching him. Again, I love watching the young receivers we have in this league right now. The receiver position is in good hands, could be starting with Justin Jefferson. My last one is going to go to a team you talked about and a player you talked about, but a different player on that team. And I just have to give it up for Carson Wentz. You know, discarded by the Philadelphia Eagles, what were we going to get out of Carson Wentz, a guy that was playing at an MVP level? We keep wanting to hang on to that till he dove into the end zone and blew his knee out. It's never been the same since. Now he hurts his foot early in camp for the Colts as he's even going to start the season. And here he is, throwing only 3 interceptions. Now, he's never been a big interception guy, though last year there were 15 interceptions. You know, we've seen him under 10 interceptions in the past, but just 3 so far this year, a quarterback rating of just under 100 right now. But basically, my point is, You have the excellent running game with Taylor, and he's throwing well and not turning the ball over. That's going to give you a higher functioning offense to help your defense out as well. So how is Carson Wentz going to do in the changing of the teams and kind of to regain his career again? Well, again, he's not unbelievably lighting it up, but he's doing well enough for a team that has a really good running game, and he's not hurting that team with turnovers.
Last one for me, and I need to mention this game. Otherwise, everyone in Cincinnati will be even madder at me than they usually are because you hate the Bengals, and you hate this team, and you hate that team. As Chris Collinsworth says when he's asked, why do you hate this team, why do you hate that team? I just do, okay? I don't hate any one team. I call it like I see it, and I call it this way with Joe Mixon. A great statement from him with 123 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns in a game the Bengals had to have coming out of their bye week. They had lost 2 in a row. They'd gotten to 5-2. We were getting ready to crown them. And then they get destroyed by the Bengals. They lost to the Jets the week before, or the Browns, excuse me. They lost to the Jets the week before that. They reestablished themselves against a struggling Raiders team, and they can continue to go forward. The passing game wasn't as spectacular as it's been this year, but Joe Mixon had his best game of the season. The Bengals right in the thick of things, Mike, at 6-4. A lot of teams in the AFC very much alive, and the Bengals are very much one of them.
No, they definitely are, and I love seeing them play at times, but for a team that's trying to grow, what's the main thing that you have to do? Is when you start to get better, you have to consistently be better. And just as you mentioned, at times you look and you're like, wow, okay, great young quarterback, great young wide receiver, Mixon running the ball well, but now on a consistent basis, both offensively and defensively, that's the next step for a team that not only has been mediocre, but has flat out been bad for a number of years. And now you see them at times look really good, but now consistency is the word you strive for.
Yeah, you're not going to change anyone's minds about you when you follow your signature win over the Ravens in Baltimore by losing to the Jets. It's not going to impress anybody, But they still have chances, and we'll see if they can turn it around. All right, let's take a break.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.